What's up, everybody? Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. Coming up here on July 27th, the national broadcast event featuring Steps Lacrosse. 2 games featuring girls in the 2022 class and the boys in 2021. And we'll bring in now the founder and CEO of Steps Lacrosse, Charlie Shoulberg. And Charlie, I guess, in getting this all together amidst a pandemic, and we know sort of the landscape of what's been going on with the seasons canceled and the high school level too. Were you able to put all this together for this really cool night for the sport and for these young kids?
Tom, thanks for having me on. And first, I'd like to thank everyone involved in this production. You know, it's been challenging for these kids, and the ability to potentially put these kids on a national stage is really thrilling for all of us. And it wouldn't happen without David Gross and Rob Wallace and Chris Day from your team, Lee Southern from the NJ Riot, Lisa Lindley from the Connecticut Grizzlies. And we're also going to be hosting this on Sports Recruits Event Beacon, and a big thanks to Matt Wheeler and Chris Mead from the Sports Recruits team for getting these kids even more exposure. And then finally, a big thanks to Mike Fisher from Nike, and an even bigger thanks to all the healthcare workers out there that have been through this most challenging time to help our country get back to where we want to be. The concept came from just trying to do something special for these kids. It's been a really hard 2020 for everyone. Us in the lacrosse development space, in the club space, you know, when this idea came out and talking to David Gross, it really was thrilling for us, and just try to take it to another level for these athletes to get fired up about, to work hard for, and give them something special. You know, give them a live national broadcast, and something these kids can work hard for.
Yeah, why is that so important for them to have? I mean, knowing sort of the limit that they've been limited now in a myriad of ways and exposure at this point, and maybe the recruiting cycle or where that might be. Why is something like this so important for them?
Well, the recruiting landscape is changing, you know, weekly. You know, what announcements are, when are NCAA coaches, Division I level, going to be able to evaluate in person again? We don't know some of those answers. The 2022 class, this would have been their proverbial fishbowl summer on the girls' side, where this is where they would have been evaluated. So they're missing out on that, and they may change the contact date at the NCAA level from September 1 to later on. And on the boys' side, it's still such a fluid situation. Our 21s, we've got a lot of really, really good players that deserve some great homes. So without having, you know, the Division I level coach to be able to be in attendance, how can we deliver this to them so they can watch it and put our kids on a stage where, you know, hopefully they perform well?
And you mentioned that stage and that visibility, and maybe even having coaches see them on a stage like that is important, other than just seeing them drills, and you might be doing that in scrimmages wise. This is a real event where it's an opportunity for these coaches to see these kids playing against really good athletes on a different stage maybe than normal over the course of the summer. That to me also strikes why it's so important too.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, kids putting together highlight films, recruiting in the digital age, what I'll call it, through COVID, is obviously difficult for coaches. The college coaches that we speak with, you know, they're saying that they'll gobble up digital, they'll gobble up video, they'll see everything they can. But a highlight video is by nature a highlight video. So of course it's going to be some of the kids' best performances. How an athlete performs under the lights on a national stage could be a little bit different.
Yeah, and you've sort of built up to this, I believe, too, in steps and making sure, you know, you took the digital route and sort of gone from there. You have built up. How have you done that? Tell us a little more about that to get to this point, as, you know, the restrictions have been lifted a little bit, you know, nationwide or wherever you might be, the stateswide. Tell us a little bit of how you've built up to this, too.
Sure. So right now, it's all about film. So whatever film we can get our hands on from any event that we're in, or filming at our practices or scrimmages or local play days, getting them up on servers, getting college coaches easy access to it, you know, sort of delivering something that we can, you know, feature our athletes on film. You know, we've been preparing for this for quite a long time, and foreseeing where we were in March, where we are now, you know, having film at the ready, and the streaming concept of this and getting these kids out there. Hopefully we can deliver, and with you guys involved, deliver a product that the coaches can actually get a really valuable evaluation.
Yeah, and you're doing this in Mount Olive High School in Chester, New Jersey. I think it's an important question to ask. How are you keeping everyone safe over the course of this event? What are some of the protocols that you plan on doing?
Sure. So Mount Olive High School, it's in Mount Olive, New Jersey. The superintendent, Rob Zawicki, has been a huge advocate of our program, and the athletic director, Mark Grillo, has been a great asset to us. The stands actually fit 2,000, but we're probably going to limit to just family and friends. We're not looking to have a large audience in attendance due to all the things that obviously from COVID. We'll have a full security team on site. We'll have pre-screen verification. Athletes will have to fill out an athlete admittance ticket, verifying that they haven't been in contact, and fill out a form to make sure that everyone's safe. Safety's first and foremost. There's no two ways about that. Giving exposure to the athletes, it's great, but we've done a ton of diligence on the site, on the facility, working with the security team. Mount Olive has been an amazing partner in this as far as opening the facility, and the stadium itself is amazing. It's truly an amazing place with a gigantic overhang. It's a gorgeous place, and their staff is ready to host and ready to screen and ready to have hand sanitizing stations and screening everyone in there just to make sure we keep everyone safe.
Have you been able to get a pulse of some of the players and their excitement building up to this?
Their pulse is, they're very excited. Yeah. So we did a full media day, which we're sending headshots up to you guys and well as the other teams. And when I announced it to the team, they basically were like, what did he just say? What? And then they followed up with, okay, and then we started getting a lot of feedback from the players and the families, just how excited they actually were. Sort of this unique concept, where these kids are going to be introduced, and we're going to have the national anthem and having play-by-play there, and have our commentary and a full public address. It's just something for the kids that are, we're sort of amping up to it. We're amping up to next week, a week from today, where, these kids they're fired up. And who wouldn't be? I'm fired up when I go to the facility, or look, I want to be under the lights playing there.
Yeah, and it's almost, after missing so many games that they expected to have, it's almost like, yeah, you expected that to happen. But this it sort of teaches some perspective, too, I'd imagine, and how valuable things like this and the opportunity just to get out there and play is right at this point.
Playing right now is a privilege. I don't think anyone should lose sight of that, and keeping people safe so we can continue to have sports is huge, locally, nationally, at the U.S. lacrosse level. Trying to keep this a safe environment so our athletes can continue to play. The emotional and mental well-being of athletes getting out there is something that should not be lost on anyone, but we have to do it appropriately and properly when we put events on like this.
Yeah, and finally, we're all lacrosse fans here. What should we expect from the actual competition itself and some of the teams you're playing in the CT Grizzlies on the girls' side in the 2022 class, and the new NJ Riot for the 2021 boys, excuse me. What should we sort of expect from the games itself?
Sure. NJ Riot's a great club in New Jersey. We think we're going to square off pretty good with them. Obviously we hope it goes our way, but we're looking for a good game. We've seen each other before. We've been playing in some local stuff here, but we're staying away from each other up until the game as far as competition. We've got a lot of great kids. They have a lot of great kids. They know each other because there's obviously some local geography and familiarity. They're gonna battle for sure, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. And on the girls' side, right now, these two teams at the 22 level, in reviewing scores from this past weekend and reviewing scores from events that have happened in competition, this is a really, really high level matchup. I mean, this is easily a top 10 matchup, possibly top 5. CT Grizzlies and Lisa Lindley and Steph Calabrese do a fantastic job. Our kids, have had some success. It's a great group. We anticipate some really, really good lacrosse, and we hope to deliver on that.
July 27th, the girls play at 6 p.m., the boys at 8 p.m. Should be a great night all around, live right here on Lax Sports Network. Charlie Shoulberg, the founder and CEO of Steps Lacrosse, thank you so much for the time and joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Tom. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.